Bueno, muchachos, vamos a comenzar mientras las otras chicas se conectan. Les voy a compartir la pantalla, me van a decir si la ven y comenzamos. Okay. ¿Pueden ver la pantalla?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Well, girls, good night and welcome to my chat club. And today we're going to talk about Latin America under construction. First, we're going to start with the usual introduction, and you must give me your name, age, under bachelor's degree, or your career, and you must to answer two questions for me. These questions are: what do you think about Latin America, and do you think Latin America is a three region? Who wants to start?
I can do it.
Okay.
My name is Eliana Rodriguez. I'm 20 years old. I study physical science at ENAD. And what do you think about Latin America? I think Latin America have um, amazing views, landscapes, something like that. And of course have many problems related to political and economic problems. Um, what is Trivi in this case?
Three is a prosper region. Is when a region is prosperous, when a region have many resources to to be a progress for.
Well, yes, I think Latin America can be a Trivi region if they want to.
Okay. The next, please. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paula Sanchez. I'm 21 years old and I study mass media at the Monte Avila. I think that Latin America is a great region with beautiful views, with beautiful nature, animals, all kind of people. But I don't think that Latin America is a great region because it's so old about I don't know how to say culture. It's so low the culture than we have here in Latin America. So that's what I think.
Okay, it's okay. The next, please, Carmen.
Okay, hello. My name is Carmen. I'm 22 years old. I study modern languages at the UCV. I think what do I think about Latin America? Well, I think it's a great region. It has beautiful landscapes, as the other two girls said, and that its people is great. We have a great mixture, an incredible mixture of people. However, I don't think that Latin America is a thrive region because, as it has been already said, we have lots of problems
Well,
concerning economy, concerning drugs, um, social issues as well. However, it can turn into a thrive region because there is there are a lot of invest um, like for example in Chile, so I think it could become in a thrive region.
okay. Well, Latin America, yes. Latin America consists of 19 sovereign states and several territories and dependencies, which cover an area that stretches from the northern border of Mexico to the southern South America, including the Caribbean. It has an area approximately in 90 millions 100,000 99 thousand sorry uh, thousand kilometers, almost the 30% of the air land's superfice area. Stop. Today we don't going to talk about politics, geography, or culture. Today we're going to talk about entrepreneur. Girls. And the purpose of this chat is talk about the entrepreneur and who is the
Hello,
and
can't you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So,
Who are okay? Well, and the purpose is know who is the new projects or the new things that can change our context in our region. First, we're going to start with Bruno Montefiore. Who is he and what is his entrepreneur? Well, Bruno Montefiore is a Peruvian lawyer that works with the conservation and the reforms of the nature. And he he for 3 years old has been work has in the reconstruction of the natural areas in Peru. And who wants to read, please?
Wiki by Nature. Bruno created a platform network that enables that's the enables environmental citizenship and accelerates conservation through collaborative action. Bruno goes beyond the traditional shame of protection of green areas and promotes empowerment of citizens for their conservation. From a positive approach develops a culture of affection and empathy, in which people develop action driven by love and not out of fear. In addition, the example of positive experience that connects people and promoters and conservation through the change of mentality of a conscious citizen makes them agents environmental change. I'm sorry, I'm completely exhausted.
Don't worry. Well, part of the Bruno's entrepreneur is create a culture of affection and empathy around all topic or around all this topic of the conservation of the protection of the green areas is it is not the common idea when of the typical guy that say, oh, we're going to care the nature because we don't live in the air. The the main purpose of him is create this culture, because if you don't love your nature, and if you don't feel feels like empathy or love of for your natural areas, you don't care something that you don't love, and this is his first purpose, because they don't want that the entrepreneur to be like the typical entrepreneur, when the people only care the nature, but in another moment that the same people is throw throw anything anything thing on the street, or don't care their places. Who wants to read the problem?
I can read.
Okay.
The problem. Peru is the fourth most dangerous country to do conservationism behind Brazil, Honduras, and the Philippines. Less than 85 activists against Peru's illegal logging were killed between 2002 and 2016. And at the same time, it is the fifth most biodiverse country on the planet. But ecosystem health is looking at an alarming rate for various causes associated with human behavior. Deforestation, wildlife trafficking, contamination of major water sources, fertility of the land, greater demand in urban centers, which leads to an excessive increase in production and deforestation.
Well, part of the of this idea is conveying of all these problems, like deforestation, wheel traffic, contamination of the water. The first the first the main part, the important part is about the urban centers, because in Peru, in different green areas, many enterprise destroyed all these parts. With this entrepreneur, they want to work with a different forms, with all this enterprise that once in Peru. Well, who wants to read the strategy?
I want. Hello. The strategy. Bruno is aware of the absence of an environmental culture in Peru, and from a very young age was connected with this situation and decided to focus on the rescue of the biodiversity of Peru. He studied environmental law and since 2004, Bruno has been linked to the Peruvian Society of Environmental Law. Then, in 2012, he created the Wiki by Nature program with its PDA support because he realized that legal work was not enough, but it was also necessary to change the mentality of the citizen. It inspired and guided citizens and companies to exercise a positive and proactive leadership in favor of the conservation of the natural capital of Peru. Bruno is currently in the formalization stage of Conservamos por Naturaleza as a social enterprise. Consists of 8 members: Director, Project Coordinator, Social Networking Coordinator, Communications Coordinator, Campaign and Volunteer Coordinator, Designer, Video Editor, and by Trial Coordinator.
Well, girls, what do you think about of this idea? believe that is good for the continent or only in Peru, or you thinking that this idea many people's takes developed in our countries?
Yes, very people is about the country because it's incredible. In this moment, the world is in uh, um, conditions that are very difficult for the humans and the other genera, generations. Generaciones.
Someone else?
I think that the strategy works because if you don't know what you want in your country, you don't like it or you don't pay attention for that. And if you say to the citizen that the environment culture is important and that you know how to help that situation, is a good strategy to help the country.
Well, it's really interesting all your comments, and I think that this idea is really important we because Latin America is a region with many green areas, and all these green areas has been used for different international enterprise, and many of theirs in different case has have destroyed of this area, and the citizens of the different countries the, never have did some nothing for combating this problem thinking think that the conservation is only idea like is idea only of the hippies or or the crazy people, and it's so bad because it's our air, is our space, and we must take of theirs, and it's really important. Well, we the next entrepreneur is Claudia Gonzalez. Claudia Gonzalez is a Bolivian entrepreneur. Well, their project is really lovely. Why is lovely? When she studied at the university. She every day when she went to their university, she always passed around a park, and in this park, let me a second, please. Well, sorry. Well, every day pass around a park. Well, in Peru is sorry in Bolivia is a country when the weather is so cool in 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 a big part of the year. Well, and every day she saw a little guy, and this guy doesn't have shoes, and their way has destroyed, and asked she asked herself what happened with this guy. And some days she talked with this guy, and the surprise was that this guy don't was a homeless guy and lived on the streets, and she takes with she and the she 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 put of the guy in her home, and these guys talked with she and said that they have many friends in this situation, and she started to give the same opportunity to the other guys. Well, their idea is Fundación Alalay. Sorry, who wants to read? Guy, sorry, girls, who wants to read?
I want to read.
Me?
Well,
Fundación Alaila. Alalai. Claudia
Alalay.
empowers children. Alalai. Claudia empowers children and young people through their social sport school and prevents abandonment by detecting vulnerable children in a school where they have partnerships. It also strengthens the social fabric by bringing together the family and the community around positive space of coexistence. Claudia breaks with the chain of violence and family abandonment of children and young people, combining prevention with care programs and reception centers. She demonstrated that it is possible to reinsert healthy and empower young people with life skills. Claudia marked a before and after in Bolivia, since her model of reception centers did not exist in that country, and there were only correctional centers for minors and teenagers, where they were treated as prisoners.
Well, is really important mention in this part the last part of the text that Ariana just
Yes,
was reading, because in Bolivia, Claudia create these centers. The only types of centers for the homeless guys in Bolivia was the correctional centers. Similar like a prison. In these places lives the homeless guys, um, guys that did crimes, different types of violence, and was a terrible condition for the children, because don't have a a life quality, and that's so sad, because are only children's, um don't live in a home, or in a space when they can to be a children's. Well, who wants to read the problem?
I want to read
Yes.
uh, the problem. In Latin America, 1 in 5 children under the age of 15 is in a street situation. In Bolivia, 44% of the total population is under 18, which translates to 4.4 8.4 million young people, and more than half of them, uh, 58%, are in poverty. Poverty. In the country, poverty affects almost half the population, 45% of a total of about 11 million inhabitants. And most of these people are children and teenagers. There are 3,000 children living on the street, about 1 million children and teenagers who are workers and exactly uh, 1,000, sorry, okay, 1,487 children live in the prisons with parents serving sentence. Whoa, violence is add, added to these subhuman living conditions, uh, as there is an alarming figure that 7 out of 10 children are physical or psychologically abused in their homes, in educational units, or in their workplace. The plight of the plight of children in Bolivia is so serious that is every 100 children under 1 year exactly half of them have not pure registration, and 30 children out of 100 drop out of primary school. Whoa!
Yeah. It's so sad, this reality in Bolivia.
But I think
Well,
in
the
Venezuela, no.
huh? Tell me again, please.
I think Venezuela is worse than Bolivia.
Well, currently is a true, but I think that are the two nations are in the similar situation, but in Venezuela is more intensive that situation because we have a crisis, political, economic. We have a economic, political, social crisis.
Yes, it's true. But it's a very difficult and sad situation for the children. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, exists a difference because in Venezuela exists the exists places like Ogarabambi, Fundana. Um, this project doesn't exist in anything place like that in Bolivia. Exists only correctional places when old guy that don't have a home was invade to was sent to these places. Well, the next point, please, the strategy.
I can read
Yeah.
the strategy. Claudia promotes the exercise of the rights of children and teenagers for the construction of a culture of protection, good treatment, and peace. Claudia differs from other initiatives because she clearly separated the stages of the children and developed programs for the different needs. Although it began with a protection program, which serves a population between 0 and 20 years old, it extended and developed the prevention program with the social sport schools, thus eradicating the causes of child neglect. In the social sport schools, it empowers children and young people aged 6 to 17 and their families to bridge the gap between formal and informal education, where children from different social classes interact and work together to prevent new children join the streets.
Well, understanding all the situation. What do you think about of this project and specific of the strategy? Specifically, sorry, specifically about the strategy.
I like the part of she separates the state of the children because every kid is different. Maybe some kids was for the nutrition, others for violence, or maybe violence physically or psychological. So I like that part.
Yes, thank you. Someone else wants to give our
I
opinion.
guess that they are a really great people because not many people invest or use their time in other people. You got have to have money and really ambitious and have so many ideas to help people. Then the majority don't. So when someone has so much money, they don't think in the other people. They think in themselves. So I think it's something that we have to appreciate.
Okay, thanks. And the next entrepreneur is Natalia Mesa. She's a Colombian architect and economist, and she create a project thinking of the situation in their country because in for the poor people in Colombia doesn't exist the space like a kindergarten or spaces when the mothers can be live of their children when theirs goes to work. And this idea I call it AEO2. And who wants to read about AEO2?
I want to read.
Okay, thank you.
IAEO2. Natalia created IAEO2 education model for comprehensive care in educational centers, pedagogical infrastructure, and management that is self-sustained for children in early childhood, 0 to 5 years, with a focus on learning high quality and low learning costs. It makes it possible for children with limited opportunities to access high standard of educational quality, and it affects the closure of the cognitive and nutritional gap and integrates the community. Its innovation is integral. Natalia designs the architecture of its center's space and develops a pedagogy that starts from the create process and em- em- empathy among children. Uses art and free play in an innovative way.
Well, Natalia believes that the first is the most important the most important age because is the age when the children if it has if it has a good if it has a good education they can be more smart, more proactive, more entrepreneur, but the other part of this entrepreneur is not only to be the typical place when the mothers leave the guys. Well, they want that this place the also of the guys stay there. The children can be learn about the different activities than can promote in theirs more abilities in these first years of their lives. Well, who wants to read about the problem, please?
I want
Thank you. Sorry.
the problem. In Colombia, the infrastructure to provide high-quality early childhood education service is insufficient and weak, allowing social inequalities to be perpetuated. More than half of Colombia's children are poor, about 2.5 million children, and the government has recently defined a policy to increase its coverage with quality and comprehensive care. Currently, 1.5 million children are being served, and there are still a million children still missing. In addition, a large majority of these million children who are being served are with low-quality operators that require a pedagogical and operational entertaining.
Well, the strategy, please.
I can read.
Yes.
Okay, the strategy. Natalia developed its own model with several innovations. In its exploratory phase before starting IO2, says the principle of the philosophy of Reggio Emilia Sensi of the child as the protagonist of learning and from his own experience develops his own methodology with materials, educational, educational curricula, and teacher training model. One of its innovation is the architectural property of its center, very economic to scale in Colombia, as in any country in the world. Have a digital platform with training models to offer training programs IO2. Oh, uh,
Okay.
level
What do you
2.
think about what do you think about of this entrepreneur? It's I think that I am I am repetitive with this question, but I believe it's important give knows or sorry their your opinion about all these entrepreneurs. What do you think about of this idea? You think that this type of strategy around the kindergartners can be a effective solution for the learning of the children?
Yes, uh, we know the uh, there isn't the solution, but it's a new strategy and a new idea that can be make many solutions for many problems, and it's for the children, and it's so important, and it is incredible.
Well, thank you. Someone else once get your opinion?
Well, I think it is a great idea to solve the problem of inequality in Colombia because actually psychologists say that the first 5 years of our lives are the most important years. So maybe it is something that you are doing in a very early age. However, it will be very helpful in the future for the future of those children, for the future of Colombia thrive.
Thank you. And we must talk about entrepreneurs. And in this opportunity, we're going to talk Alberto, uh, Alberto Bolmer. Alberto Bolmer is an economist of an inter. Sorry, I have a confusion. I am not sure of if he is engineer or economist. I don't remember. If you want, if yours say it, tell me please because I confused right now. Sorry. Well, the case of this man that is that he create a project called I forgot that work. Escabal. No, it's Escabal. Well, they create a great project that trace the sports, in specifically the rugby, with the participation of the people that stayed in prisons or they they have a condition of violence in their lives, and this project is called Proyecto Alcatraz. Someone else hear about this project. Someone else have the opportunity to go of the Hacienda Santa Teresa.
No, but I know some about the project that this man
Well, thank you.
passed to work to the ASEAN, no?
Yes. Who wants to read this part, please?
I could read.
Thank you.
Create a total of formation in values and through a change in the proper is it's me? It's only two voice. A change in patterns of behaviors. The organs of criminals into agents of change, involving the community and the family, as part of this model of social reintegration. It capitalizes on the negative and violent leadership that criminals often have and turns into a modeling leadership.
Thank you. Um, it's it's repetitive, but everybody knows that the problem in Venezuela is the violence and the insecurity. But he tries to reduction of this problem in a benefit because with because all these people that have problems with the violence in many cases have abilities like a leadership, and they tries to change with of this method of this sports methodology, Who wants to read the problem, please? Girls, who wants to read the problem?
I can read.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
The problem. The problem of insecurity in Venezuela is complex. The system of parental right, public policies of crime, and the system of administration of justice are inoperative and corrupt, and are also supported by a set of inadequate and outdated laws. To this adds the penitentiary system that is overpopulated and has not received dedicated investment in for years. As an example, the penitentiary of Aragua, or Coron, which is a prison designed for 75 prisoners, today has more than 10 billions inmates. Finally, there is the police system that until the police reform in 2012. It was absolutely corrupt, outdated, and they openly violate human rights, still does. Since the reform, there have been major improvements in certain aspects, but there is no way to be effective if the rest of the system does not work.
Okay, thank you. Well, this project has a background in all this story, because in I think it was in 2002 or 2000, the Hacienda Santa Teresa was ha, surfer. I don't remember. Surfer as told, Alberto don't calls the sorry doesn't call the police. They said of these thief that if they work in the enterprise, they can pay their crime. uh, of 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 this beginning start all this project. Well, the strategy, who wants to read, please?
Me.
Thank you.
Okay. Alberto based his model not on the young individual, but on the wall of the criminal gang to which they belong, and it is inserted in the complete system that surrounds the criminals of the certain sector. This dynamically changes dynamics, especially because it rests its action on a model of truth, loyalty, and value. It is about capitalization, capitalizing on the leadership skill of criminals. Alberto not only supports them, but also forms them in trades and entrepreneurial, entrepreneurial skills. It brings up a new way of articulating with the community of agents of change to people with criminal antecedents.
Well, girls, you think that every of you think that the people that you think that all you think you believe that these people needs a second chance, or that we include in our in projects in these types of projects, or gives opportunity relatives of educations. You think that this is good in Venezuela? These types of entrepreneur is good in Venezuela?
Yes, I think it's good because uh, people need a second opportunity. Um, I think many times the appreciation nor is a real form of transformation a person, and the exists many forms that uh, that can create a new model for the society and create a new people and new minds. I think it's important as second opportunities for transformate life.
Thank you. I like your opinion. I think I think the same. So now once up once give 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 us our opinion about this strategy, or
I like his way of thinking. It's interesting because he doesn't call the police, and I think everyone would have done that, and I agree with her, and I think they they need a second opportunity.
thank you. Well, I I I I want ask you a final question. We we know we need about of all these entrepreneurs in a big part of our region, and I want to know if you want that Latin America is under construction. We don't have a developed region. Say that we are a developed region is a liar, because we don't know we don't know a developed region. But you think that Latin America is under construction. We have with the different entrepreneurs, we have the opportunity to change our reality and combating the back politics and the corruption.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because first of all, entrepreneurship is the new fashion. So everyone wants to invest. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to change, to make a big change in society, especially in our countries, because we see the rest of the world and we want to be like them or better than them. So I think that these kinds of uh, projects may help us to improve not only in terms of economy or politics, but also in terms of society. It I know that the fact that we work on our society may have a great impact in economy and all stuff. However, it also may have a great impact in society, because I think that those kinds of projects, those kinds of projects really touch us, Yeah, I think that the key to change Latin America is by changing society.
Thank you. Someone else thinks like Latin America is in a constant construction. Nothing. Well, thanks to stay in this chat club, and I want to finish with this phrase. We going driving the walk, and in Spanish is vamos dibujando el camino, and is a phrase of the Latin America songs of is the song Latin America of Calle 13's song. Oh, sorry, of Calle 13's song. Personally, I think that currently we are driving a big wall to be a developed region, and we can see with the difference change in the last years. We 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 are we was changing our politics or the models of the economy, and the most part is our of these entrepreneurs, because we can change the model, the political model or the economic model, but the if you don't have the 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 these types of projects, we we don't stay really really complete of this process of change. So that's all. I thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Was
you.
interest. So that's entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Well, I in a few minutes I going to send you the form for that you complete and register for the assistant. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Okay.
thank you for coming and good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.